it's very helpful in terms of where you want to take your career. So I started off at operations. Like I said, I did that for about a year and a half. And then as the company just started to grow and expand, I was able to move up. I was able to take on a manager role. I was able to then get promoted to director of AdOps over time, right? We eventually got acquired as an organization, and thankfully I made it through that transition and continued to build my career. And then in 2006, I moved over to Advanced Digital, which is now called Advanced Local, which is sort of the digital arm of what was, or I think still is in many cases, a lot of the newspapers that they own around the country. So for example, in New Jersey, the newspaper is the Star Ledger. The digital property would be NJ.com, right? So I worked for the digital side of the house. And it was when I was at Advanced Digital where I met Kirk and had that interaction that we talked about earlier. But that's also where I really started to expand my knowledge. And that's where, as I was going back earlier, talking about the three guys where we have a circle and have kind of grew up in this industry together. That's where I met one of those guys, Rob Beeler, first, because he hired me first. And then the other two were there. Derek was there at Advance, and then Dennis was at Condé at the time, which is a sister company of Advance. So that's where the four of us really started to bond and form the relationship that we have today. But at Advanced Digital, we did at the time some pretty groundbreaking things. We helped bring in their first data management platform and helped in that transition from just targeting different sections of the website site to now thinking about audiences and our audience play. That's when we brought in programmatic, and you mentioned Kirk. Pubmatic was our first programmatic partner, helped us launch our programmatic offering. So that's where we did, again, that's 2008, 2009, 2010, around that time frame. And again, those things are pretty groundbreaking at that point in time. And then in 2014, I moved over to Live Intent, which focuses on helping publishers monetize their email newsletters, right? So that's all digital advertising within the inbox. And there, I switched roles. I moved from ad operations to account management. And for me, that switch was a very interesting one at the time, right? Because I knew that I wanted to do something else in the industry, but I wasn't sure what yet at the time. But that switch to account management, I think, was the right one for me at that time, because I went from, again, running AdOps teams at a publisher to now supporting AdOps teams that were at publishers, because the publishers were the clients of Live Intent, right? And so the people that I was supporting, I had empathy for, I understood what they go through, and I knew what their goals were because I had just done that role, right? So I ran account management for a couple of years, and then I pivoted into product marketing and marketing, ran the whole marketing org there, eventually became a CMO before I went to Group Black. Joined Group Black when the company was 6 months old. And so I helped build out really the entire commercial org there, sales, account management, ad operations. Did that for about 2.5 years. And now